Hello, welcome back again to a new video. When you look closely under the seat, there's my cat. Hey. Today I want to talk about compulsions and to talk about OCD in general and getting better from OCD. So when you saw my video about my story with OCD, you know that I was a chronic sufferer and with severe chronic OCD and anxiety. Then I made a video about what the obsessions are. So what tend to happen, and what I talked about in that video was, what tend to happen is that when someone has OCD and feels so shit, what we understand, you know, because I know what you've been through or going through. It's really, really tough. So a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic, and in panic you are not rational, you know. You want to feel better in the moment. That's understandable, but it's not gonna help you. And what tend to happen is that when you feel so shit, so bad, that you'll skip the basics of what OCD is, what anxiety is, and what the characteristics are of the mental illness. So when you don't know what you're dealing with, you don't know what to look out for, what to spot what you are doing and what is happening. In that kind of panic mode, you just want to feel better and do a compulsion. So, but an obsession, just to recap, an obsession can be thoughts, images, urges, feelings, emotions, that words that get stuck in your head, you know. When there is a fear, when you think so catastrophic that you don't want to happen in your life, OCD can clamp to it. So when you have irrational fears, irrational outlook on life, certain outlooks on life that is really rigid, then OCD will put its teeth in. So, and OCD, you know, is a anxiety-based disorder, you know. So, when there is a fear, OCD can latch to it, and it will, because OCD is a hyped up protection system, if you want to look at it like that. And OCD goes for things that you care most about. So you need to remember that. So when you skip the basics, you don't know what you're dealing with. And what is important is that when you sit down and and I know it's very hard, just look at what is happening. What is happening to me? Just seeing, not every second of the day, but just seeing what is happening. And I know it is hard, and I will tell you some kind of, not techniques, but things that helped me. Things, how you can spot what is happening is that you lay down for like one time a week for like 20 minutes on a couch or with cat no, or in bed, and just let everything race, the thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, and just look what happens. See what are the things that scare you, what are the things that, if you don't know it, but what are the things that I ruminate about or obsess about? and that gives you an indication of what the things are that you're scared of or obsessing about. Just look, just see what happens. And then, when you practice this 1 time a week, that is the start of noticing throughout the day what is happening. Just easy, not in an obsessive way. You have OCD, so you will do it obsessively, but just easy, just see. And when you know the basics of OCD, when you see what is happening within yourself, what kind of obsessions you have, you can also spot the next thing, and that are compulsions. The compulsions. So, you have obsessions, images, thoughts, urges, all that kind of things. And because it is so distressing, because it gives so much anxiety, because you're so scared of what the outcome may be or the subject is, you do a compulsion. So, and a compulsion is really nothing else than in the moment getting rid of the obsession. So getting rid of a feeling, push away thoughts, ruminate about the obsession. But you need to remember, maybe you have this also, I had years where I didn't thought spot that I was ruminating for like 3 hours straight. So, because I didn't know the basics and what rumination was, and I didn't even know that was not helpful and was harmful. So, other compulsions, you have inward compulsions and you have outward compulsions. So, for example, when you have contamination OCD, you will wash your hands. Just a basic example. But it's easily to spot it and know it. But an outward compulsion is also to check the doors or check the gas. It's hard to stop, but it's easy to spot. You see that you do it, if you're being honest. Check the locks, putting things straight, or symmetry. You can spot it easily, but the inward compulsions are harder to spot, because some compulsions are really really small, but are very not dangerous, but if you're doing compulsions, you won't recover, even the small ones. Because if you do a compulsion, you reinforce the fear. You say to your brain, I'm scared, because you do something to try to get rid of your anxiety, of your obsessions. So inward compulsions are also reassure yourself. So just in an example, the contamination OCD, you washing your hands, but you also saying prayers or saying sentences to yourself oh, I'm not dirty, oh, now is it clean, yes, now is it clean. But OCD will let you in the doubt for always. It will doubt, what if, it never stops, never. A compulsion doesn't give you, never gives you full release and full relief. Never. It's a lie. It never helps you. It's like a magician. It is not the right path. Never. And that's why the end goal is to stop compulsions. But I can tell you now, when you're stopping compulsions, your anxiety will go through the roof, because that has kept you safe in your head for a very long time, because some compulsions I did for years, maybe 10 years. Yeah, a little bit. I have some new I have some new plants, and I have some little flies here from the plants, so I don't know what it is, but I need to fix it because I just moved. But just as an example, as a compulsion also, when I was when I was 15 or something, I had severe anxiety about sweating, and a compulsion in that sense were overly use of deodorant. Overly use, fucking 20% of a bottle each time I used deodorant, because I try to get rid of the sweating, but it is the fear that is driving the obsession and causing the sweating. Because I was so scared of sweating, I sweated. I did Botox under my armpits. And then it was gone because I couldn't sweat anymore. I even considered an operation to cut the sweat glands. It's crazy. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work. So when I just did an exposure, just like exposures aren't the whole story, but are a part of getting better. So what I did was doing a lot less. If we take the sweat for as an example, I stopped using deodorant for a few days and see what happened. And in the beginning, when you do an exposure is just confronting your fears and reacting different than before without a compulsion. So I started to sweat, I started to smell myself, or I thought, and just go throughout the day. And it took a time, because it was a fear that was very someone calls me, wait a second. It was a really big fear for me, because people could reject me, that people wouldn't accept me, that I would be an outcast, that people would talk over me, that I was smelly, or that kind of things. So when I did the no deodorant, I didn't like it, but eventually I starting to get back on deodorant, but just and just try to live a normal life, and it was gone. And it is gone. So that's an example, but with my sensory motor, what was really severe, because the obsession was, I can't stop thinking about breathing in and breathing out. And you're never gonna stop breathing, when you're dead. But and there was so little information about what this was, that I thought I maybe had pure OCD. It doesn't exist, or there's always a compulsion, but I didn't spot the compulsion, And what I did with sensory motor is that I was scared that I would notice my breath to the end of times. I had images of noticing my breath when I was 80. Just being alone and sitting in a chair and still noticing my breath constantly. And that was my fear. Oh, there's a fly. Sorry. And I tried everything. I tried to work very hard to distract myself from the feeling, but the feeling is here. You can't distract yourself from the feeling. I drank more, alcohol, I try to breathe a certain way, I try to be slower, faster, stopping with breathing, and I was also scared that I stopped breathing. So I was constantly on the lookout. Am I still breathing? How fast? Do I still feel it? And that was a disaster. A really, 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 really big disaster. And the compulsion, that were the compulsions. So, but you need to realize that your breath is always with you. So when I was working, I feel the breath. When I was working out, I thought I would die because I was breathing more. When I had sex, I was thinking about my breathing. So all that kind of things. And the compulsions, it's a lie. You think, at a certain point I did a little small stone in my shoe that I didn't feel my breathing but only feel the stone. All compulsions. So, but I didn't realize I was doing certain compulsions like still watching my breath, and it's very hard to not do. Some things are going automatically because it's a habit. And you know, when your fear is designed to save your life, you know, but this fear is out of whack. It's too sensitive, you know, and it's an alarm that is configured too sensitive. So it is, yeah, you really need to see what is happening. So see, okay. So I will discuss a lot more of how to get better, but just read some things about just the normal stuff about OCD. So what is the OCD in general? What is anxiety in general? And I will discuss it more via the videos. Okay, what are my obsessions? Okay, what are my compulsions? And just 2-3 times a week, just sit down and maybe write it down, just easy, not the whole day, 3 times a week for a half hour, and be strictly with it, otherwise it's also a compulsion to get certainty, to get better. But okay, just bring your attention to what is the obsession I have, and just see for a few days, okay, these are the obsessions. Just, and remember it, don't go directly to the paper and write it down. Just easy, write it down when you have a time over, and just, okay, see that for a few days. Okay, see that, okay. And then look, okay, then you know something more about your obsessions. Then see what are my things in the moment I do to feel better. What are the things? Just look what I'm saying inward. Are I pushing the thoughts away? Am I pushing emotions away? Am I pushing urges away? Am I giving self-reassurance? Do I do outward compulsions? Do I seek reassurance with my partner? So when you have relationship OCD and you're scared that your partner leaves you, or that she or he is not the one, constantly asking reassurance. And it's like heroin. Shot, feel better, again. It's a cycle. You can spend your whole life reassure yourself or ask for reassurance, it won't help. But also reassuring, looking things up in Google about your obsession. Also compulsions. So then you have the basics of OCD and anxiety, you know. Maybe a little bit of depression if you're, my God, the flies. I need to have some string that they fly into and then get stuck. My God. or am I smelly? And that the flies are coming for my smell. My God, there are a lot. So you have the basics, you know what OCD is, you know what compulsions are, and what your obsessions and compulsions are. So you have a roadmap. And just remember, everyone who says the thought, the content of it is irrelevant. Yeah, okay, but the content of the thought shows you what the obsession is and where what your fear is. So if the thought is keep playing in your head over and over and over again, maybe I'm a pedophile, then it's that way you're scared of. And just, okay, so you have your obsession, compulsion, and now you can look into, okay, but what is it where I'm scared of? What is it what I'm scared of? You know, what is it? I have the obsession, I have the compulsion, but what is it exactly what I'm scared of? And look to that, look at a few times a week, 2-3 times a week, just check look at it, so okay, so I'm scared of, in that case, if I take the example of sensory motor, me feeling the breath and I'm constantly thinking, I can't stop thinking about my breathing. It won't release because my mind is on the feeling. Okay, write down, I'm having obsessions about my breathing, or saliva, or blinking, or swallowing, you know, all the same sensory motor stuff. Okay, what kind of compulsions do I do? Trying to push the anxiety away, trying to push the thoughts away, trying to get rid of the breathing feeling, work too hard, drink a lot, distract myself, write it down. And then you have a roadmap from, okay, I need to stop doing these compulsions. Also, not compulsive, stopping your compulsion, but the end goal is to stop all compulsions, because if one compulsion remains, you won't get better. But it takes time, and you need to look into when you know your compulsion, so you're trying to stop certain compulsions. First with the easier ones, and take the time, you know. Getting better from OCD is not, you will not get better in 1 day, 1 hour, do these 10 things and you'll get better. No, it doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You can't say when you are better. It happens, you know. There was a certain point in my getting better from OCD that I was sitting down and I didn't thought about my breathing for like 2 days. I think, oh my God, okay. So I wasn't scared of it anymore. I stopped doing compulsions, and I looked into the fear from, okay, what is it that I'm scared of? And see that, okay, I will notice my breath for the rest of my life. I need to make peace with it. Because you can't reassure or do compulsions and get better. You just need to have, you need to fully surrender to the fact that you maybe won't recover, or maybe you will notice your breath for the rest of your life. And when I had more peace with it, accepted it, that was the thing, it went. And then it led to something else. So the moment breathing OCD went away, something else took its place. So it is a complete shift of your personality, a complete shift of your life. So everything OCD comes up with, all your fears, you say, fuck it. If that is what it is, then it is what it is. I accept myself no matter what. I accept my situation no matter what. And it's really strange because you have some people with taboo teams will think, yeah, but maybe I'm a pedophile. But then also, I will discuss that in a lot of more videos. But you have so much different themes like existential, contamination, relationship OCD, sensory motor OCD, all kinds. But you need to remember that these are the most common. And that OCD can latch to everything. So I had moments where it would latch for years to my work. I had a good company, making a good money, and then 24/7 I was scared of not making any money, and I was really convinced it would happen. I would lose my money, I would lose my house, I would lose my business. So I made very poor decisions at that time. Very safe decisions that weren't the right choice, but I did them because I was scared. And so you need to remember everything that you are scared of or irrational about. OCD will latch to it. What the content is, how to close your door. It can latch to crazy, irrational things, you know. Driving OCD, people driving and thinking they run someone over. They go back and check the whole time, going back to 10 rounds, but it never happened. But OCD is so convincing. It convinces you of everything, and it feels real, really real, fucking real. So I talked a lot more than only compulsions, but I don't have a script. I just say what comes up and what helped me. And if you have any questions, please contact me. Send me an email or give me a like. And if you have any topics that you want, I will do all kind of different topics in the few coming weeks, and I will up my upload rate, doing a lot more videos, getting rid of these flies. I will do about coffee, about sporting, about just getting your life together, just living a normal life is a very big part of getting better, you know, just living life and feeling shit. That is a big thing to do. But this is also a little bit basic video to get just some more information about OCD and about the basics. And so we had some basics about obsessions and compulsions. And the next thing I think will be or themes or a little bit more about anxiety and what it is and what it does and that kind of thing. So please help me grow this channel, because I want to help a lot of people, and there's so much misinformation. People that only say do exposures and you will recover. It's not true. Do nothing and just thoughts, let it be. Won't do any shit. It won't do anything. It are all connect. parts of getting better. Exposures, doing nothing about your emotions or thoughts, but also going to work, doing exercise, have a good nutrition, meet with friends, doing things what you think you like, because yeah, my God, at a certain point I didn't feel one pleasant moment for 2 years. Maybe one pleasant moment in 1 year, 5 minutes. So you don't even know what you like anymore. And please come out of your bed. Just set your alarm. My alarm is 6 o'clock every day. In the weekend, when I have a little drink, then I do it a little bit later, maybe 8 o'clock. But go out of bed. Don't stay in bed for 2 hours, 4 hours, the whole day watching the stuff. Go out of bed and then feeling shit and go to work. Or go to the gym. Eat well. Take your vitamins. Not necessary, but a little thing that could help you 2% to get better. But just when you have a healthy body, you have some more energy to do this stuff, because when you cut compulsions, you need to know that it is when you're stopping compulsions, your anxiety will go through the roof, and you think you're going backwards, but you need to push through. Maybe push through for months with this feeling, not doing compulsions, but you will do compulsions. You will do, but easy. So I will stop. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.